you're listening to Spiritual Growth Tools on the radio, helping you understand the blocks you have in your life to being happy, with a wide variety of guests to help you better understand the problems you're having in your own life. Whether you're depressed, poverty-stricken, suffering ill health, or confused about how to take the next step, discover products, services, and information that will enable you to grow with grace and address issues that are preventing you from happiness, health, or abundance. Go to spiritualgrowthtools.co.uk and find out what's holding you back.
Hello everyone, and you are listening to Spiritual Growth Tools on the radio, where we discuss spiritual growth, what that means, and how it can help you to move forward through the blocks that you have to health and happiness. I am your host today, Caroline Nettle, and with me today is Clare Dakin, who is the founder of TreeSisters. Welcome, Clare.
Hello, Caroline. Hello, everybody.
Hi, I'm so pleased that you're here today. So for those of you that don't know Clare, she's an inspirational speaker, a leader, and a writer. She created the charity TreeSisters and is the embodiment of bringing feminine principles into business and our personal lives. She is passionate about all things female and how to bring the brilliance of women into everyday life. Today we were going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to chat for a little while, but Clare has kindly agreed to talk us through the Tree Sister map, which is something I'm very much looking forward to. So I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and tell us her story for a little bit, and then we're going to go straight into the exercise. You're going to need some cushions to support yourself and a quiet, undisturbed environment. So with no further ado, I'm very, very happy tonight to introduce Clare Dakin to you. Welcome, Clare.
Hello, Caroline. So you're gonna introduce me like that and expect me to just merrily talk straight into the space? Well, in that case, we have no idea what is going to come out of my mouth. Thank you so much for being here. Whether you're here simply because you love what Caroline creates, or whether you're genuinely interested in TreeSisters, I'm really hoping that I can help to create an experience for you that will enable the sort of change that you want to feel in your life, but also provide a tool that you can use again and again. So, a little bit why I'm here. Caroline has actually been on a large part of the journey with TreeSisters over the last few years, which started many, many years ago for me, although I didn't realize it was starting. I think sometimes we have no idea what life is actually doing with us until suddenly something happens and you can look back and realize that all manner of things actually made sense and that you were actually being prepared all the time for something that you had no idea lay ahead. TreeSisters was like that for me. I was always a deeply passionate environmentalist, and I was always fascinated in what makes humans the way they are, why we show up the way we do, and what can be done in order to create the sort of change that doesn't just bring happiness and health to ourselves, but actually directly impacts the planet and starts to create a society that we would be proud to live in. So my journey started in India with an agroforestry initiative called called Project Green Hands, where I finally found the first project of scale that brought spiritual fulfillment, social justice, and ecological responsibility all together in the most beautiful and very successful way. I was supposed to be fundraising for them, but actually all I was really interested in was the social strategy. I was fascinated by how they were managing to bring a caste society together around the environment, something that, you know, despite all the calls for climate change, despite all the education that we're having, we just don't seem to be actually acting as if anything terrible is coming upon us. And I worked for 3 years there, really trying to distill this, understand it, get it into my body, and at which point I had this car crash. And I crashed into a tree on an icy road early in the morning. And when I hit the tree, there was a blinding flash of white light and 2 words in the white light: the experiment. And when I looked at these words and I said, well, what is this? I was sort of wrapped around a tree, sitting in my partner's car, thinking, oh my God, I'm in the middle of the road. How am I going to tell him? This voice said, Humanity is running out of time, but it's not over yet. It's going to take all of us rising to the challenge to get through what's coming. The single greatest fear facing humanity is fear of failure. And we can get over fear of failure by calling everything we do an experiment, because you can't fail an experiment, you can only learn. Which I thought was completely brilliant. And then stupidly said, what's the experiment? And back came, you have to reforest the tropics within 10 years. That was the point that I had a live flash before my eyes moment, because I realized in that moment why I had been doing so many of the things that I'd been doing, and also that this project, should I take it on, would turn me completely inside out and ask me to become a version of myself that I didn't even recognize at that point. It looked like murder, and I just said no. However, the voice totally ignored my refusal and carried on, and the very first thing I heard after that was, you have to mobilize the women. The women are the missing piece. The women are the womb carriers. They are the ones who create life and protect life. They understand life. They nurture life. They are the protectors and creators of the home. They nurture the home. Earth is home. This planet is home. This planet is being destroyed and poisoned and trashed. And what has happened to nature has already happened in so many ways to women. Women and nature share a similar history. And all the time I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, wow, gosh, I've never thought about it like that. Yes, it's true, but sorry, you've asked the wrong person. But the voice continued, it has to become as normal to take care of this planet as it currently is to take her for granted. It has to become normal for the feminine qualities of receptivity and nurture and care to become part of your economy, to support your ecology. You need to create a crowdfunding platform. You need to make it normal for everyone to give money for trees. You call this platform TreeSisters. You do it through the women. And so on and so forth. And I might as well have been sitting there taking dictation. It was so incredibly clear, not something that I would ever be able to forget. But I said no, and I said no for about 9 months. And I struggled like mad with depression, because when life shines a bright light and all you can see are your shadows, it is incredibly difficult to get away from yourself. And not to say, yep, you know what? I'm too small for this. Or my fear is more important than the matter at hand. Or my inadequacy stories, or my fear of rejection, or my fear of being ridiculed, or my stories about how I'm not good enough or I can't do it, are just sitting on top of all my gifts. I know that I'm letting it. I hate that I'm letting it. I am letting it. And I can't seem to still find the strength in myself to do anything else until I could, which was 9 months later, a good gestation period. And when I did, I was given the map that we are about to do together now. I asked, what is a tree sister? And back came, it is a woman who makes 5 choices. To be considerate of the earth, to be encouraging of each other, to be intimate with life, to be responsible for its health, and to be courageous with her gift. And I thought, oh, it's 5, and I went and I drew a 5-pointed star, and I said, where do they belong? Consideration, the willingness to wake up, sits in the head. Encouragement, the in-breath of the heart, our need for each other, for sisterhood, for belonging, sits in the left arm. Intimacy, our direct relationship with life through the body, through our pleasure, the part of ourselves that is planet walking around, is in the left leg. Responsibility, our ability to respond from what we feel, sits in the right leg. And courage, the outbreath of the heart, the expression of our passion and our purpose, sits in the right arm. This map are 5 of our most beautiful capacities, all arranged around the womb, which sits in the center. My dream is to put life at the center of humanity's map, to usurp money which currently lives there, which causes us to fight and compete and destroy and consume without any thought for consequence. But if right now you would like to find 5 cushions and lie them down in a space so that when you lie on your back in a starfish, your head is on a cushion, your hands are on two cushions, and your legs, your feet, are on two cushions. And initially we will be starting lying down like a starfish, but we will be getting up to move from cushion to cushion to be able to feel our way into what our body can communicate through our physiological intuition, that gut knowing that arises so easily when we actually quieten down and simply allow ourselves to receive. So I'll give you another few seconds to just gather yourself. Make yourself comfortable, make sure your phone is turned off. And what I am introducing you to here is actually the basis for every aspect of my charity, of the organization TreeSisters, from how we operate as a team, to our foundational principles, to all our organizational operations. Everything sits in this map because this map is a beautiful teaching about balance. And if we want to create something that generates balance in this world, then we need to be in integrity and living from the root source of that balance as an organization. So if you are lying down, just notice how you feel. You're stepping into a matrix. You might have all sorts of strange sensations in your body already. Don't try and change anything. Simply witness. And as you witness, deepen your breathing. Breathing as if the air around you is full of life and vitality, full of the breath of trees. And as you breathe, feel as if the entire surface of your body is porous to that energy and you can literally breathe it into your cells. Softening your lower back, softening the backs of your knees. Feeling your eyes smile, the soles of your feet smile, the palms of your hands smile. Aware of your pelvis, aware of your pleasure centers, breathing that light into the whole surface of your body, breathing out gratitude for the natural world. And as you lie there, just become aware that your left arm is the in-breath of your heart and your right arm is the out-breath of your heart. The left arm, your longing to be loved, your longing to belong, your need for each other, your need for a place, to know that you are valued, to know that you are cared for. The way that your heart receives other people, the way that you can open to others and allow yourself to be loved. And your right arm is your love in action. It is what you want to give back to this world. It is how your creativity expresses itself. It is your passion. It is your purpose. So just for a few minutes, breathe in through your left arm and breathe out through your right. Breathing in the feeling of being loved. Breathing out your feeling of giving that love through creativity. Feeling how the more you can answer the wisdom of your heart through the left arm, the wisdom of your own longing for love, honoring your need for connection and relationship and for a quality of relationship that deeply nurtures your heart. The more your heart is nurtured, the more you have of it to give into your creativity, into your feminine leadership, whatever that looks like. Breathing in love, breathing out creativity. And then dropping your attention to your left leg, the leg of intimacy, the place of your deep connection to your body, your physical needs, your physical loves, sensuality, sexuality, pleasure, all that is feminine and juicy and connected to all of life, your love of the natural world, your reveling in warm grass and fragrance and flowers and clouds and wind and rain and sea and rivers. Let yourself breathe in the leg of intimacy, the strength of mountains, the softness of warm sand, the soft wings of birds, the sound of their calls in the morning, the depth of the oceans, the calls of the dolphins, the bluebells in the forest. Soften your whole body to allow yourself to breathe in through the left leg. Because the more you can give to yourself in your body, the more you open that channel of direct intimacy through your physicality to the greater physicality that created you, the more capacity you have to actually listen through your body to what you are capable of and what Earth is capable of. So that when you put your attention into your right leg, your doing, your action, it makes sense to your energetic resources on the left. Putting your attention into the right leg. How can I live so that it makes sense in relationship to life? My life energies, and the life of the planet. This is the place of reforestation in TreeSisters. This is where it only makes sense if we are all warming our planet to start planting trees every month, to start cooling her. This is logic. This is necessary. This is the only thing to do to take care of our planet, only if we can feel ourselves to be part of her. And the right arm, this place of courage, again sitting on the right side of the body, just be aware that this right side, this active side, this giving out side, is like the masculine side of the body, and the in-breath side, the left-hand side, is like the feminine. And if we live in a world where the feminine is down, where the feminine is repressed, if you just lift up your left arm and your left leg and bring them close to your body now, just feel the imbalance of living in a world where all there is out-breath, all there is taking and consuming and doing without any reference to the needs of your heart or the knowing of your body. And just feel what that's like. Because this is our current world. This is a world in which the masculine has decided to think less enough of the feminine, to simply stop listening to her. And this is what we have inherited, and this is what is happening in our lives, and this is what is happening inside each of us, whether we are man or woman. We have all inherited this worldview and way of being. So the head is the place of willingness to wake up, consideration, willingness to look at the whole system, to receive from the left-hand side, and then to give direction to the right, so that our doing makes sense in relationship to our feeling. I feel, therefore I know what to do. So if you put left arm and leg back down, and again, use your mind for what it's for, receiving the information from your left-hand side, how does it now feel to be back, the left side honored in this particular system that is you? Breathe in through the left-hand side of your body. and breathe out through the right. Breathe in, I feel how things are. Breathe out so that I know what to do. Breathe in, I feel how things are. Breathe out so that I know what to do. And very gently, you can start to sit up and go and move yourself to the left arm, where you will simply sit on your cushion. And as you are making your way to your left cushion, you are now understanding or beginning to understand why I eventually said yes to TreeSisters, because when you understand that the feminine principle has to come first, the receptive element has to come first before any lasting change of behavior or rebalancing can even happen, you'll understand why I said yes to doing something just for women when I thought it was ridiculous and I was terrified to. Because actually, the feminine principle needs to be reinstated. The queen needs to be put back on her throne, and I don't believe that men can do it, that men can lead it. I think they can embody it. I think we desperately need them to also wake up to the feminine within. But I think initially, the reclaiming has to come through women. We have to remember what it means to be women. We have to find it in our bodies and then bring that wisdom to life. So just noticing how you feel in the left arm. All of you around the world right now will be feeling completely different things. There is no right thing to feel and no wrong thing to feel. There is simply some information coming through your body about what is true for you in this place. So just notice it in your body and soften around the sensations as much as you are able. And then feel for what you most long for. In the place of relationship, in the place of belonging and community and sisterhood, what do you most long for? And as you allow that to emerge in your own body, just ask the question, what do I need to receive that possibility in my life? And just see what comes. And then giving your body a really good stretch and feeling as if you are stretching the invitation of that right into every cell. Take a deep breath and move to the left leg. And again, just start by noticing the difference. How do you feel here? And then again, tuning into yourself. What do you most long for in your connection and relationship with your body and with nature? And breathing in your own permission to receive that, the feeling of receiving that. And asking your own body wisdom, what do I need to be able to bring that into my life? And see what comes. And this is a really, really important place. The place of intimacy is the place of greatest fear in a woman's body. It is also the place that unsticks the rest of the map. Our willingness to feel as women is one of the greatest gifts we have to offer humanity. Because unless we feel what is really going on, nothing is going to change. Unless we feel our indivisibility from Earth, we will simply continue to trash her. Whatever you're feeling, stretch your whole body and stretch it into every cell. Take a really deep breath and then move to the right leg of responsibility. Again, settling in, simply to see how this feels. It will feel different. How would you like to be able to respond in your life? How would you like to be living that makes sense to your heart and to your body? How would you like your responsiveness to express itself? Don't put a lid on what comes. Allow everything simply to arise and just witness. And then feeling deep into your body, asking the question, what do I need to be able to bring this into being? And simply listen. And again, whatever that feels like, just really breathe it in and stretch your body. Anchor it in place before moving to the right arm of courage and again settling in. How does it feel? And be aware, there is light and shadow in each of these places, and we never know what life is going to bring us, what holds us back or what we long for. Both sensations, both experiences are utterly valid. Trust the process. Do you long for? When it comes to the giving of your gifts, when it comes to being unlimited, fully expressed in your gift, in your passion, in your creativity, in your fullness as a woman, unheld back, joyfully expressing yourself, bringing what your purpose is, whatever that is, and you need not even know, but the willingness to live fully. What do you most long for in this place of courage? And if you ask your body, what do I need in order to unchain myself and to live that fully? What do I need? What comes? And if you can allow yourself to fully receive that, breathe it in. Stretch your arms, stretch your spine. Feel the possibility of it right through your system. And then take the position at the head in the place of consideration, the willingness to wake up and face truth. This is your willingness or not to receive the information from the left-hand side. Am I listening to my heart? Am I following my body? And in response to whatever is true about that, delivering the directions to the right-hand side of my body. How do I live according to my energy? How do I live? Honoring my heart. Just feel how it feels. And what do you long for? How do you long to be in relationship to your heart and your body? How do you long to live? How awake do you want to be? And asking again, what do you need to move in that direction? What do you need to have what it takes to wake up to yourself, to honor yourself, to respect yourself, to live as if your heart and your body matter? And again, breathing that right down to the tips of your fingers, stretching your arms, stretching your body, anchoring that into your muscles, taking a deep breath and then going and lying down like a starfish again. And notice this time how completely different you feel. And whatever you are feeling, soften your whole body to absorb it. This is a place that you can come back to time and time again. But as you lie there, I will just give you an overview of how this relates to TreeSisters. Your head is the place of all of our innovative education materials that we are creating specifically for women, for mothers, for grandmothers who are no longer satisfied to leave their children a future that has no certainty at all. Your left arm is the network. It is how to build a global network of women to help make it normal, to give back rather than just take our planet for granted. How do we bring women of every kind together around this goal? Your left leg are all of our intimacy teachings, how to come back to the feminine principle, how to reclaim the wisdom of the womb, how to reclaim the cycles that live us so that we can start to live within cycles of the moon and the sun. The right leg, the place of responsible living, reducing our carbon, reducing our footprint, giving back every month money to trees. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of women all giving, stacking up for money going directly to the tropics to help reforest in areas where it is turning to desert. The right arm, nature-based feminine leadership, women supporting women to give their gifts in ways that make sense of themselves. Project, this initiative, this call, this vision is such a gift. It is such a balanced form of possibility and potential. So do feel free to continue to lie there, to rest, and to listen.
Thank you so much, Claire. I actually was doing that whilst you were talking. If I just get closer to the microphone, that's probably easier. And I found it slightly shocking how much I felt so comfortable in the right-hand side of my body. And I know what to do, I know who I am, and in the left I felt really blocked and unsure. And I think if I can share what came to me, for me what I long for is community, touch, being loved for who I am. You know, the real fundamental side on the left, and on the right it was just, come on, let's go. You know, I had a real enthusiasm and a real, well, obviously I have found my passion, and so that was really interesting for me. So I appreciate, if you're lying there, how magical what we've just been through was. And I have to say, I've just truly loved being a part of the TreeSisters team, and this is such a wonderful project. How do you see this helping, for example, communities or women going forwards, Claire?
This, the map, or this Tree Sisters?
Both.
Well, the map is such a way of listening. It is such a way of getting a direct hit of truth from your body where your mind can't get in the way. You know, we can convince ourselves of just about anything. We can convince ourselves that working so hard we can't even feel our bodies anymore is a really good idea. And because we can't feel, we don't have the capacity to listen to our bodies, which are screaming, until we get sick. So to me, this map has changed my life fundamentally. You know, I am now creating an organization where we are bringing the lunar and the solar cycles into the center of our organizational operations, because I am so present to how the world that we have lived in has created working situations that profoundly disconnect us from life. Everything that we do largely disconnects us from life. And so I am trying to create an organization that when you work for it, you are strengthening your connection to nature, so that we are figuring out how we can operate in a way that is the reverse of what is going on. And the map is our template for doing that, because in this map, the wisdom that says the feminine comes first, you have to feel it first. You know, all of our, even our board calls, we start with meditation, we start with listening, we start with saying, something so much bigger than us is in control here. And if we can just learn to listen, then maybe we can start to operate at a higher frequency or in a more healthy way, where our mind is playing servant and not tyrant dictator. So the map itself, if you go to www.soundcloud.com and type in TreeSisters, all one word, you will find 2 previous meditations that can take you through this process. And you can use them whenever you want to bring yourself back into balance and to listen for guidance. Now, TreeSisters itself, I mean, it's a big vision, it's an audacious vision, but it is something that needs to happen. But it can only happen if all of us pick it up and start to run with it. I can't do this on my own. It's never been about me. I have to somehow become enough of a clear channel to get through to the part of women that is longing to do something, longing to live in a way that makes sense in relationship to life, longing to figure out what it actually means to be a woman rather than to be an embodiment of a man-woman that is what we've been taught to be and has nothing actually to do with our intrinsic nature and the profound wisdom that is possible through our bodies. TreeSisters I see as a catalyst, as a home, as permission, as deep nourishment, and as right action, because all of our action comes out of our feeling. And it will become what it becomes through you. It'll become what it becomes through the women that pick this up and start to run with it.
And one of the things that I certainly was very surprised about with the TreeSisters is how many men came forward. So it's not that TreeSisters is just for women, right?
Not at all. I mean, this is one of the things I struggled with to begin with when I was given the project, because I was like, look, it's going to take all of us. And until I really embodied the map and understood just how important the reinstatement of the feminine principle is, that point I went, oh, okay, I get it. But again, it's not just in women. This has to happen inside men as well. All of us need actually to start to listen to life through our bodies so that we can stop trashing our planet and stop trashing ourselves, you know, stop living in a profoundly disconnected way. So there are many men that have come forward. In fact, one of our root donors is a man, God bless him, and we call them the guardians because they are the men who understand that women have a lot of healing to do to feel safe enough to bring our gifts forward, to feel safe enough to expose ourselves to each other and to ourselves. And they are the men who stand by the temple door and allow us to get on with the business of healing so that we can bring ourselves fully forward.
I love that vision of men standing by the temple door whilst the women inside do the healing. And it speaks to me of a very ancient tradition almost. So I'm wondering if, you know, perhaps this is something that is in all of us, like you say, it's a calling for all of us. And one of the things that I've loved so much working with the TreeSisters is the work that we've been doing on the projects that you're going to be able to give away. For example, if you're sitting at home in Idaho or, live in New Zealand and you think, I'd like to start a Tree Sisters group, there's certain, I can't think of the word.
We're calling them the empowerment materials for want of a better word. I mean, they'll have a much more leafy name probably at some point, but in the short term, they're the tools and resources that we will be creating for women so that when you come together in group, you can drop into processes like this and cut through what holds us back from each other and drop to a place of deep heart-based communion and intimacy with your body, to that place where we can together become so much more than the sum of our parts, and where we can become encouragement for each other to really be who we are.
And certainly it's been a big privilege for me to be part of that process. And, we've done some really profound work. And, what I've noticed is when women gather and share their secrets and, become authentic together, there's a deep, deep connection, which, sometimes I find in this world it's difficult. We have friends on Facebook that we're probably going to never meet, and we feel like they're friends, but there's no real connection, and I just found it so deeply connecting, and I made some friends for life. So I'm absolutely thrilled about those materials, and I can't wait for them to work. And perhaps even we're talking about, if I go to Africa, taking Tree Sisters with me, and that that is a really exciting thought for me. So Claire, do you want to talk to people a little bit about, how they can help with what you're trying to do?
I would love to. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. Tree Sisters is fledgling right now. We have been operating for about 2 years just from my own place of suddenly trying to pick this up and do this as a totally ordinary woman trying to figure out how to do a million things that I had no idea how to do. And suddenly now I find myself with this charity, gathering a team together, pulling together all the materials that we're starting to create out of the logic of the map. We have 23,000 on Facebook now. We are putting about 2,500 trees, we're seeding about 2,500 trees a month at the moment, which is 10,000 trees since February when we first finally managed to start. But what we've done is we've gone from trying to simply crowdfund our organizational development to putting 80% of everything that comes in directly to the trees. And what that means is we're doing it very differently to how any other organization or charity would work. We're not operating from a huge dollop of capital sitting in the bank. We've decided to put our money where our mouth is and simply to live out our vision and pray that because we are in integrity with what we are trying to do, that the money will come to help us birth this organization properly. So I am in major fundraising mode, and I am calling to the part of you that longs to be a financial catalyst and that longs to do something truly wonderful by helping to birth an organization that is bringing nature to the center of its operations and living in integrity with the feminine principle. So we have got something called the Giving Tree, which if you go to our website, which is TreeSisters.org, you'll find the Giving Tree has leaves, branches, and roots. The leaves are those people who can make a donation of anything you can possibly manage, up to about £100 or $100 a month. Most people are coming in at about 5, 10, 15, 20 a month. Whatever you can manage is glorious. You are giving it straight back to Mother. Our branches can give 100 a month or more. We really need you. We need to find about 100 branches at this point. And our roots are who I am really calling for. The roots are the financial catalysts, the visionaries out there, the enablers who have means. And you know who you are, and I am just praying that you are here and listening, because I am calling for those who truly want to see Tree Sisters birthed, and birthed well, and birthed in integrity, with the sort of money that comes through people who deeply understand the logic that I'm presenting here, and the possibility that this can be. And if you are a root, then you are able to give us £1,000 a month or $12,000 a year for 3 years. And we are looking for 10 of you. 3 have already shown up. And if you are not a root, but you could be a twin root, which is somebody that can give 500 a month, then please come forward and find your twin and come forward together, and we will welcome you with open arms to help us build this thing. So if you are a potential root, please email me. And it's Claire with no I. I am the no-eyed Claire at TreeSisters.org. I would love to meet with you. I'd love to take you deeper into this project. Please find our website, find us on Facebook. We also have an active Facebook group where you can step forward and explore all things feminine, all things about how we need to step forward, what's holding you back, what support you need. That is the Tree Sisters Talking Tree. You'll also find us on SoundCloud, as I said. And tomorrow at full moon, every full moon, we have a global call where you can come together and either work the map, or tomorrow we have a beautiful meditation called Blossoming Tree, which is a Beltane type celebration of beauty, looking at our relationship to beauty, looking at our capacity to feel it in ourselves as ageless and timeless, and then to share it with others. Also, if you come onto our website, you will see in the What Can I Do, there are so many ways you can help, but just refer back to the map, which you will also find on the homepage of our website. How can I wake up? How can I gather women and call them to this? How can I help build a network? How can I help grow in intimacy with my own body? That is so crucial. We all think, what can I do? What action can I take? So few of us think, right, how do I get strong before I can take action? This is about getting strong. This is about honoring your body. It's the one thing that hasn't been done for the feminine. How do we honor our bodies so that we become so connected that that wisdom that deeply permeates us can guide us? How can we live informed by our true nature and nature itself? This is my deepest calling in life, to become my own embodied nature and to help women find that, and for us to hold our hands and find it together so that we can bring a different wisdom back, almost like priestesses to me. I think it is an ancient knowing that is needing to come back, where we embody a wisdom that enables us to create different systems, systems that serve a humanity, an economy, a possibility that is beautiful, a humanity that we can actually be proud to be a member of, because we're not busy trashing our planet. We're busy protecting, cherishing, and preserving, creating a world that our children would actually want to inherit, and not that they're just going to be terrified of and resenting us because we acted as if their future didn't matter. So please just come and explore. Please step forward if you can help us to birth this. We really need you now. And I'm so grateful for your time. I hope that this map, this gift, is something that you will use again. Remember, you can find it on SoundCloud. Thank you so much, Caroline, for this opportunity. I deeply appreciate you for it.
You're so very welcome. And as you were speaking then, I was just thinking about, we have in our collective memory being burnt at the stake for being healers. But think of all the women that were watching the witches being burnt. So we have that. We have rape. We have pillage. We have, destruction. It is really time for females and the feminine in males to understand that enough is enough, and it really is time to just start looking at ways that you can develop your broken ego, almost, I want to say, so that you can appreciate that being a woman is a phenomenal, phenomenal gift. I really, really mean that this lifetime. And to the men as well, being able to get in touch with that feminine side for me is it's so beautiful when you're in the presence of a man who truly appreciates women, not for the sexual reasons, but just because they are able to stand next to them as equals. And I hope for that in our future. I think it's probably time to say thank you so much to Claire. That was a real honour to be able to go through that with you. I really appreciate it. I've never done it before, so it was the first for me, and I found it really, really moving. And to say thank you so much for coming on, and I love you dearly, as you know.
It's my my pleasure. I'm so grateful. I love any opportunity to talk about this. You know me.
No kidding.
Give me a microphone, quick, anybody.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, everybody, I really hope you enjoyed that. And, of course, you can always come back and listen to the show again if you want to listen to the map again. So let's talk about next week's show. Next week, I have a lady called Diana Romreg coming on. Now, I went to her house about 2 weeks ago and ate a meal with her. And honestly, it was one of the nicest meals I've eaten in a very, very long time. Her and her friend run a healthy eating school. So I'm going to very much be looking at spiritual growth. Sometimes it's very difficult if your body's out of alignment or you're a little bit feeling down because of the food you're eating. So we're going to be talking about how healthy eating can improve your mood, can improve your health. And I'm very much looking forward to talking to you. If you've got any health issues that perhaps you want us to address next week, do post them in the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/spiritual growth tools. And just to say, I really love doing this show, so thank you all so much for listening in. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be kept informed of the upcoming shows, which you will not want to miss. I've got some phenomenal people coming on. There's always the replays if you want to go. I've had some really fantastic guests on, like Charles Eisenstein and a lot of other people. So go and have a look through the archives, and you'll be able to listen to some of those if you want to. So I would like to say to you all, stay safe, and I hope you find the tools that you need to grow with grace this week. God bless you all.
Thank you for listening to Spiritual Growth Tools live on the radio. For more information, go to spiritualgrowthtools.co.uk.